Hello and welcome. You're watching Explosive Exclusive. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Let's tell you a story about Akbar Lone, a member of parliament on the National Conference and one of the leading politicians from Kashmir. In 2018, Akbar Lone, who had taken an oath on the Indian Constitution and became an MLA, made headlines when he chanted pro-Pakistan slogans. Guess what he's doing today? Today, he's one of the main challengers, one of the main petitioners in the case against the abrogation of Article 370 in Supreme Court. But now, his past has come back to haunt him. Today, the top court instructed Muhammad Akbar Lone, now a member of Parliament of the National Conference, to submit an affidavit affirming his allegiance to the Indian Constitution and acknowledging that Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of our country. This comes after Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing on behalf of the centre, emphasised that Akbar Lone's position as a lawmaker means that he must vehemently denounce terrorism and secessionism in J&K. Remember, Times Now had first broken the story about how a pro-Kashmir group, a Kashmiri Hindu group in court, had submitted how the main petitioner has a history of being anti-India. It's after that that the centre also backed roots in Kashmir. And now the Supreme Court has instructed that Lone submit his response tomorrow. However, it is concerning that even despite the rap from the Supreme Court, the party leader Omar Abdullah continues to defend his pro-Pakistan stance.
I think it's important that you go beyond just what has happened in the Supreme Court today. Ask yourselves why something that was said in the Assembly in 2018 has become an issue in the Honourable Supreme Court in 2023. In those famous words, आप chronology समझ लीजिए. 18 में हुआ, स्पीकर बीजेपी के थे, क्या एक्शन लिया उन्होंने?
Now, even before Akbar Lone submits the affidavit in Supreme Court, his son Hilal Akbar Lone, who also is a leader of the National Conference, labelled Jammu and Kashmir, believe it or not, even now as disputed territory. But Omar Abdullah doesn't have a word of condemnation for what is being said by his leaders. Listen in.
It's a disputed conflict zone, disputed territory. Who has taken this dispute to the United Nations? Who has taken it to the United Nations? Who has taken it? India has taken it to the United Nations. It has not been resolved. This dispute has not been resolved so far.
I'm not answerable for Hilal Akbar Lone, nor is Hilal Akbar Lone a petitioner in this matter. He has no presence in the Supreme Court. Today it is simply about what the Honourable Supreme Court has said.
The question, though, is will it in any way chastise the entire brigade who has questioned the sovereignty of India and has continuously said secessionist statements vis-a-vis Kashmir, now that the Supreme Court has come down on a member of Parliament of the National Conference, telling him you must swear your allegiance to the country. Rajeev Panday, spokesperson of the BJP, joins us along with activist Lalit Ambardar, Aabid Mir Magami, Youth Leader Congress, and Ahmad Ayaz, former secretary of the J&K Muslim Personal Law Board. Could there be a greater shame for a sitting member of Parliament, Aabid Mir Magami, that they are being told by the Supreme Court, say that you believe in the integrity of India? He's a sitting member of Parliament. You're muted, sir. Go on. Mr. Magami, can you please unmute yourself and then continue? All right. Ahmad Ayaz, can you take that question?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, my question is, can there be a bigger shame than a sitting member of parliament being told by the Supreme Court to put on affidavit that he believes in the sovereignty of India?
No, see, Supreme Court is within its powers to, direct any such thing. But the fact is, the slogan, what shouted, Muhammad Akbar loan, whatever he raised there in the assembly long back, was not just because that he really owed an allegiance to any country. It was just as a reaction to the BJP's Hindustan Zindabad. It was a reaction to the BJP, not to that showing any allegiance to the Pakistan. And that too, having raised that slogan as Pakistan Zindabad, I don't think this Zindabad is just wishing good and then.
Mr. Ayaz, are you still sitting here and splitting hair? His son even today is calling Kashmir a disputed territory. On a day when the Supreme Court is saying that you have to say Kashmir is an integral part of India on affidavit, his son is saying Kashmir is disputed territory. What is the dispute about Kashmir? What is the dispute?
His son says,
and these are the people who go to Supreme Court talking about the Constitution and talking about rights and challenging 370 abrogation.
You see,
these are the credentials of the people who talk about democracy.
What his son says, Akbar loan cannot be responsible for it because...
Sir, we are not even asking about Akbar loan. He is but a cog in the wheel. The question is of the National Conference.
Wait a bit. Even
you are an Indian party. You swear your allegiance to the Constitution. You take oath on the Constitution and you challenge that very Constitution.
In the Constitution of the India. So he is a sitting member of the parliament. So whatever his son has said, Akbar loan cannot be held responsible for that. Of course, the person concerned himself may be responsible for what he said, but not the Akbar loan. Akbar loan is a sitting member parliament right now, and he has taken already an oath in the Constitution.
Okay, Rajeev Panday, why bring all of this up now? Right now, they are challenging 370 abrogation. His history should not be dredged up.
Padmaja, whenever you go to the court, and that too challenging under the risk jurisdiction, you have to go with clean hands and you have to show your allegiance. You have to prove that who you are. Today, Roots of Kashmir have filed an affidavit, and that's this issue was raised before the court, that you see the conduct of a person, conduct of a petitioner. When you go to the court, court has to see the conduct of the petitioner. You cannot commit crime and then come to the court and say that you have to give me reliefs under its jurisdiction. You see, still, Mr. Ayaz Ahmad Ayaz is saying, he said because BJP wale were saying Hindustan Zindabad, BJP wale Hindustan Zindabad keh rahe the, to koi Pakistan, ye jo Akbar loan hai, is he a Pakistani that he is saying Pakistan Zindabad?
No,
he should have also said Hindustan Zindabad.
It was a reaction.
Hindustan
Zindabad.
Sir, I did not
slogan, not to the.
Sir, I am saying BJP slogan was Hindustan. You said only Hindustan Zindabad. Then what can be the response to that? Hindustan Zindabad. But is he a Pakistani? That he was saying Pakistan Zindabad. That is my first point. Second point, today I am very happy that this Honorable Supreme Court of India is hearing the challenge of the petitions against the abrogation of Article 370, because people of this country will come to know who has done what. What is the real legal position? Today again his son Hilal Ahmed is saying Ahmad loan, that is a disputed territory. That means it doesn't read Indian Constitution Article 1 entry number 15, in which Jammu Kashmir name is there, and whole Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India. All the petitioner and the top lawyers of the petitioners also, including Kapil Sibal, time and again today also has stated, I was inside the court, that Jammu and Kashmir is integral part of India.
Respond, Mr. Magami. Questions are being raised not just on the National Conference leader, but also on those who are representing him in court. The BJP is saying that Mr. Sibal used to be a minister in the Indian government at one time, and today he is representing a man whose very credentials are being questioned in the Supreme Court.
First of all, Hindustan Zindabad tha, Hindustan Zindabad rahega, inshallah. He has raised a slogan in the assembly when BJP ruling the state as well as center. Why did not they express its displeasure at that time? Even Government of India is completely silent, has not filed any case in any court against him since 2016. Why today?
Respond, Lalit Ambardar. That it's too little, too late. Only politically it's being raised now.
Let me tell for these people to be informed. Genocide in East Pakistan, what was East Pakistan, happened in 1971, and 90 years plus. Perpetrators of genocide are being hanged now.
I am here
so
to
as if you commit a crime, there's a crime. There's no. It's a crime. It's treachery. I didn't speak in Bharat. Let me speak.
India, not
Let me speak, please. Let me speak, please. Let me speak. So it is treachery when in the independent India you raise pro-Pakistan slogans immediately after they have intruded into a territory and committed a terror attack, and that you have the audacity to do it. Padmaja, let me tell you, this story was broken on time now. I happened to be on the panel at the prime time, and we spoke about it.
Yes.
And I said then, I maintain now, Abdullahs are the original Islamists of Kashmir. You know what? When he raised the slogan of Pakistan Zindabad in the live legislature assembly, he came out, the reporters asked him, why did you do it? You know what he said? मैं मुसलमान हूँ, bhavuk हो गया. I am a Muslim, so I became sentimental. And he repeated the same thing. He had the audacity to repeat the same thing in election campaign for Lok Sabha. And what did Abdullah do then? Instead of reprimanding him, they rewarded him with a ticket to Lok Sabha.
Exactly, and not just that, Ahmad Ayaz, even today, Omar Abdullah refuses to condemn. Imagine a member of his party has been called out in the Supreme Court, and what does he say? Oh, why is it being picked up now? Oh, this is only diversionary tactic. At least have one word of condemnation.
Point is, this has happened somewhere in 2018. And since then, there was another election also where Lone was elected as a member of parliament. And in between, there was a government of the BJP also in the state of Jammu and Kashmir as well as in the center. But question again is very important question that why it is being raised now. Is it not a dilatory tactic
can I respond this
to diverge to make a diversion of the
what diversion? These are the people who went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court decided when to hear the petitions. In the course of the hearing, Roots in Kashmir has gone and filed an affidavit. Now you will say the timing is suspect. Then you shouldn't have gone to the Supreme Court against the abrogation.
No, why?
First you go to Supreme Court, then say why is the Supreme Court talking about it? Because you went to the Supreme Court.
So far as credentials
but you cannot get rid of your history, sir. Did you really expect, did the National Conference expect that nobody is going to call them out and say, I am sorry, today you are talking about Kashmir. You people advocated for the secession of Kashmir to Pakistan. You are the same people who call Kashmir disputed territory, and then you are talking about the rights of people of Kashmir when you wanted it to go to Pakistan. And you expect to sit in our parliament in Delhi. Rajeev Panday. Yes, Rajeev Panday, quick response. Rajeev Panday, quick response.
Padmaja ji, you have already responded. The issue is raising a question, you know, this is a criminal culpability by the Akbar loan. Even a criminal case can be filed even after 10 years. What I am trying to say today, the Kashmiri people who has suffered, Kashmiri Hindus have suffered in the hands of Islamic terrorists for several years, several decades. Several times they were. So today they have compiled all the information about this Akbar loan and filed in the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And today, when this issue was raised, then when courts were very, you know, all the judges were thinking that how a person who can talk like this, who wants to disintegrate this country, and coming before the Supreme Court of India and filing under writ jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
That's why this issue has come into the light. Understand?
Bottom line still remains, imagine the shame that a sitting member of parliament, someone who swears on the constitution, today actually is asked by our highest court, you must swear that you bear allegiance to the constitution and you believe in the sovereignty of India. Can you imagine how shameful that is? Will the party speak about it? I'm going to have to thank all the gentlemen because we've got breaking news coming in right